Since this is a book about becoming an artist, it seems important to address the terms artist and art as soon as possible. So, who decides who is or isn't an artist? Seriously, who gets to make these calls? Is there a special council appointed by a democratically elected vote? Is there some kind of hierarchy among the elite artists of the world who are anointed in some secret ritual? Who decides who is an artist and what is art? This may come as a shock, but the answer to both questions is you do. You can decide to be an artist. Right here, right now, you have all of the power and authority to proclaim yourself an artist, with absolute certainty and with all of the benefits and pedigree that accompanies the prestigious title of artist. You don't need to be born with any particular talent. You don't need to go to school. You don't need a degree. You don't need to sell a piece of art. You don't need to have your work in a gallery. You don't need your art published. You don't even need to be good at art. You don't need to dress like an artist either, although sometimes it helps. You just need to say these words, I am an artist, and poof, you're an artist. Now, for legal reasons, I want to say that this only works for artists. It does not work for lawyers or doctors or pretty much any other professions. Apparently, in other professions, this is called fraud, and it's frowned upon. You, and only you, get to decide whether you are an artist. Other artists have no say in this matter. Neither do your friends, your family, the government, and especially never, ever, ever can anyone online tell you that you are not an artist. Not ever. You control your identity. You control your fate. You decide who you are, and no one else in this world can say otherwise. As to the question, what is art? For the most part, people think there's a strict definition written in a book somewhere, or that for your work to be considered art, it has to be recognized by some high-ranking scholars or by art dealers. But that's not the case. Art is art because an artist made it with the intention of it being art. And I think that's the important word here, intention. Art isn't an accident. It's not something we stumble upon. It's work. It's practice. It's trial and error. And most important, it's the intention to create art. So does that mean that even bad art is art? Absolutely. Even art you don't understand. Even art no one buys. Even art that looks like a 4-year-old did it. So long as the artist set out to make art, it's art. But what if we don't get the art? What if it looks like it took no effort or has no intention behind it? Well, this is where I personally have some inner conflict. During my time in New York, I visited the Metropolitan Museum of Art and I saw a painting by 2 renowned abstract artists. A giant Jackson Pollock painting. He's the guy who would just dribble paint on a huge canvas, and it looks like something a child would do if left unattended. And a Mark Rothko painting. He's the guy who painted a big square that apparently causes people to weep openly when they stand in front of it. I honestly don't get either of them. Drips of paint in a square of color? Yet for decades, people have sung the praises of Pollock and Rothko as if they were geniuses, as if this was somehow masterful. But all I see is the emperor has no clothes. In the story, an emperor is tricked into believing he has been gifted an outfit so rare and splendid that only the smartest and most cultured people can see it. Once his clothes are on, he looks down at his naked self, panics, and thinks, wait, if I can't see them, does that mean I'm dumb and uncultured? Not wanting to seem like a fool, he pretends to see the clothes that are not really there. Then he parades through town, completely butt naked, while everyone, terrified of looking stupid, cheers and applauds his magnificent outfit. But in the end, the truth is plain as day. The emperor was never wearing anything at all, and the whole town played along just to avoid looking like fools. That's what abstract art is for me. I feel like I look at it and I'm supposed to get something that simply isn't there. It splats on a canvas. It's a giant square of color. How is this art? Is it all a prank? Is it something people tell themselves is impressive to feel smart or cultured? Or does the emperor simply have no clothes? There's plenty of art I'm not fond of personally, but I see the mastery of the artist's techniques. I can place value on their work. And then there is art I simply don't get. And it's not that I don't get it because it's not my style or because I just don't feel anything when I look at it. No, in the case of abstract painting, I don't get it because I don't see the value, the care, the practice, the thought, the mastery of technique that would normally be valued for art. I don't see that at all. But here's the thing, me not getting it, even me thinking it's a prank on people to make them feel dumb, this in no way makes it less art. If someone wants to splatter paint on a canvas or make squares to their heart's content and call it art, then it's art. If someone wants to roll around and paint naked and leap onto a canvas and flap like a chicken and call it art, I'm not saying a thing.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.